It helps if we actually do it with the sound on. We've done this wonderful intro. It was smooth as nothing else.
Welcome, everyone. Oh, I may as well turn this thing on. Just
Yep.
hold 5 seconds. Welcome, everyone, to a Monday evening, and it is a public holiday here in Australia, and we are going through the ABCs of Paranormal Strangeness, and tonight the letter is the letter U. Now, your hosts for the evening is the usual pair.
Up to no good.
Anne Rekovich from Ozparatech and myself, Renata
I'm
Daniel
sorry.
from Newcastle Ghost Tours. Both of us frightfully good.
I went out of focus when I did that.
And everything else that we do. And my God, we do it very well. Didn't we have a fabulous talk this morning?
Oh my heavens, if you missed Spirit Talk Australia, we had a fantastic talk on this morning with the awesome Tony Rotonda. Got to get that right. Kept order correcting us to Rotonda, from the Buckland Museum of Witchcraft and Magic with a K. And for those of you who are familiar with Bucklands, it is these books with the complete book of witchcraft by Raymond Buckland.
Yeah, the big blue book.
The big blue book, they call it. And I started off using this one a lot, the Book of Spirit Communications by Raymond Buckland. So she was telling us all about the different artifacts that they've got there. They've got some of Aleister Crowley's gear there.
Raymond Buckland, lots of very well-known high priests and priestesses from all over the world have given parts of their
Anatomy.
regalia.
The regalia.
But one of the most fascinating things, because you know us, it's always got to slip down to the paranormal at some point in time. At the museum, there is an absolutely 100% genuine Dybbuk box with a ghost in it.
A demon in a box.
Demon in a box.
And
100% absolutely.
And you can hear all about that story if you go over to Spirit Talk Australia, and how it affected many people that actually came into the store. And after we finished our interview with her, she stayed online with us for about half an hour longer and told us some even more freaky stories about things that went down. So she just didn't want to mention some of those publicly because they were that full on. I was like, woohoo, I like this. Anyway, tonight we're doing the letter U.
Oh, yes, we are doing the letter U.
So that will be Urban Legends and
Urine.
Urine.
And of course, so the thing that we do is try and go for the sensible one first, and then I'll leave Anne to the chaos afterwards.
There'll be no coming back once we do my topic. Yes, now next week we are on Spirit Talk Australia. We are interviewing Dumbledore himself, Oberon Zell Ravenheart. Now this is one of the books he has written, one of the many, and I didn't realise I had it in my bookcase. I was absolutely floored when I realised I had that. So he will be on Spirit Talk Australia, and I think we're on Monday.
Tuesday our time.
Tuesday. Right,
because
Tony was Monday.
what we always have to do is, unfortunately, we have to record in the mornings because it is their evening. So we give them a choice. They either come on in the evening for us, which means that we record in the morning, or or it's vice versa.
Yeah.
A lot of them, because they're still working or they still have things to do, they prefer to do it in the evening, which means we have to record in the morning. But it's there on Spirit Talk Australia. So you can head on over there after this and catch up with some of the fascinating stories that Tony shared with us today.
Andrew's suggesting that whoever owns this needs to drink some more water. I would agree. I've got a slide on that. All right, well, shall we crack on with our first topic?
Yeah, let's go for the same topic first, which is urban legends. Now, all of you must know a good urban legend. If you do, put it in your comments. What is your favourite urban legend, the one that you really like or know really well?
So what is an urban legend? Can you tell us that?
Now, probably about a year and a half ago, I did a PowerPoint presentation.
As you do.
and it was all about urban legends, and it was called Urban Legends, or Why Mess Up a Good Story with the Truth. And there is always an element of truth in all of these urban legends, so they've got to start off somewhere. So we've got Candyman. What else?
I've been offered $100. Hang on.
Is that yours or your husband's?
Maybe later.
Right.
Oh, there's a story there. Sorry.
Oh, Bloody Mary. Yes,
yes.
of course. Who else?
I'm not sure.
Biggie Smalls has big balls.
Wow, okay, fair
Okay,
enough.
all right. I don't know that one. You'll have to tell me about that one. Yeah, lots of urban legends have been made into movies because, of course, that makes for a really good
I
story.
know of another one.
Mm-hmm.
Maitland Jail, Cell 4, C Block.
Oh, yes. The Devil's Cell, yeah. We also have Lemon Tree Passage Ghost. That's a good one. Not all urban legends are paranormal, though. Sometimes some of them are just really great stories about a particular township or a particular site.
Oh, yes, I've heard of that one, Daryl. Yep.
Oh, yes, the mad axeman who cut off the boyfriend's head and was bouncing it on a girl's car. That's a movie, I'm sure.
Oh, it's also a fireside urban legend that they always do. I love it.
Yeah. Any
Yeah,
more that we've
Mitchell,
got?
that's exactly what we're talking about. Urban legends are stories that have been told. It starts off with a grain of truth in there and then becomes something better.
Yeah.
Bigger and better. Or it might not even be a grain of truth. It may just be a story that was told.
Now, Ash Pauls, you haven't heard of the Lemon Tree Passage Ghost. Oh, my goodness. You'll have to do some research. There's plenty of stuff online. We were actually going to show a little snippet, but we have issues with showing videos and the sound coming through, so we've just sort of left it. Yes, Jenny Dixon Beach, exactly. So while you're going through and giving us some more of your favourite urban legends, and the Japanese have got thousands of these, absolutely. Urban legends are often funny or horrific stories circulated as true and often retold as, I heard this from a friend, or it happened to a friend of a friend. The storyteller will often insist that it is true, but it is usually not. But with these urban legends, from a small acorn, a big, humongous tree will grow. Yeah. So folklore is a culture's set of traditional stories and beliefs which include urban legends and popular myths, and they are passed down through generation to generation by word of mouth. Myths are stories usually about the early history of a people, explaining natural or social phenomena, and typically involving supernatural events and beings. Yep, so this urban legend thing.
Oh, look, we just have to upset Luke a little bit. I'm sorry, my sweet, the Goosebumps books are not real. I'm really sorry to shatter you there, but love and light.
Oh, I'm sorry, Luke. It's just a bit sad.
Oh, Boto, a Brazilian urban legend. He's a dolphin who seduces women in nightclubs. That's a pretty far out.
How does he get into nightclubs? That's what I want to know.
That's fascinating. Sorry, Renata, keep going.
Yeah, so an urban legend or a popular legend or urban myth or urban tale or contemporary legend, as it is all known, is a form of modern folklore. So we are still following in the traditions of the peoples before us, where they all sat around the fire at night and would tell stories to explain things about the world. And we do the same thing now, except they're all plastered on social media and made them into movies. We haven't progressed very far. We've moved from the fireside to the comfort of our couches, and we watch things through the screen, but they are exactly the same type of stories, meant to thrill, meant to give us a bit of a joke or a laugh or a jump scare, but it's exactly the same thing. I actually started watching the Amityville Horror movie this afternoon.
Which one?
The newest one. And
I like the old one.
it was just...
The fashions are fantastic.
It was so shit. I had to turn it off.
Actually,
15
you're
minutes.
right. Sweeney Todd is also an urban legend.
It's
not true.
It is.
And Luke is just about a fully qualified paranormal investigator now. He's up to season 11 of Supernatural.
You'll
Good
get
stuff.
a certificate after
I
that.
like Supernatural. I do.
So, is there ever any truth in urban legends? Are urban legends our modern day attempt to create a new folklore or even myths about our culture, beliefs, and communities? Well, yes, they are. Yeah. Should urban legends be valued and be of importance as part of our social history, even if they are not true? What do you think, guys? Should we still pay attention and give some credit where credit is due to a good story with urban legends and myths? Do they create and bond us in our communities and tell future members of our society what it was like when we were alive, what thrilled us? I think urban legends are still something that we really need to sort of hang on to. Yeah. So let me see, where am I at? So life is so much more interesting with monsters in it, isn't it? So urban legends aren't easily verifiable, usually passed from word of mouth or more commonly today in email form or on TikTok, the 2-second urban legend. They often invoke the famous, it happened to a friend of a friend. Yeah, so that's normally the story. But a lot of paranormal investigators go chasing urban legends now, don't they?
Mm.
Yeah.
There's been many, many stories done on some of the urban legends around Sydney as well. Someone mentioned the Wakehurst Parkway, the ghosts that go along there. We may or may not have been involved in some filming around that.
Maybe or maybe not. Maybe. I guess we'll find out.
We'll find out
Let's
one
start
day.
an urban legend. So discovering the truth about urban legends, however, isn't as important as the lessons they impart. So like all good stories, in the end, there is a lesson to be learned. Like, don't stuff around with things you don't know. Don't create things and don't bring things into this environment that don't belong in this environment anymore, because they are old ghosts or part of elementals that you should not be sticking your
ghost
fingers
meter lets
in.
you know whether it's an ancient ghost or not.
So the big difference between urban legends and folklore and myth is when demand exceeds supply, people will fill in the gaps with their own information. They'll just make it up. Of course they will. And the better the storyteller, the bigger the urban legend is. And Fisher's ghost
Fair
is
enough,
one of
Andrew.
those.
I could possibly believe that. Is a reptilian, Andrew Vaughan.
Okay.
Says that Mark Zuckerberg is a reptilian.
And that one is true.
Yeah, quite possibly. He also
Right.
said that the Earth is not round. He's trying to shatter a few dreams on people there.
Okay.
Brisbane vampires.
Well, do you know that there are so many people upset about that it's the, with the Earth, the flat earthers, it's actually driving them to the edge.
Oh dear.
Okay, all right. So some movies.
Somebody wants to know what's elementals.
Elementals. Elementals are the spirits of the earth. So there are elementals in the sky. There are elementals in the earth itself. There are the elementals of fire. So all of those are very old and ancient spirits. And there are many more that kind of stack up above that until we get to kind of modern day ghosts that we sort of deal with now. There were certainly in many older cultures, and it's just not only sort of one culture, but many cultures that believe that there were giants before we arrived on the earth. And there are stories about these excavations where they're finding giants, allegedly. So yeah,
Wow.
it's an interesting thing. Yeah.
Also the Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, Grimm's fairy tales.
They were actually created not to tell real stories, but to teach you. And somebody mentioned there about right from wrong and that sort of thing. So yeah, there could be all that sort of thing in there as well.
Absolutely. So I'm going to mention a few movie-based urban legends. We've got Bloody Mary, so we know that, repeating Bloody Mary 3 times and she appears. Bigfoot, the hairy monster in the wild. We certainly have people chasing Bigfoot, and even in Australia. Yeah. The Blair Witch Project, kids being taken into the forest, and that's faked.
What? Oh, right.
It's faked. The Blair Witch Project was all made up.
We did a story on that on
Yes,
the letter B. If
that's
you want to
right.
go back in time and have a look.
Now, Candyman, the obsessed killer. I'm getting hot. Amityville Horror, the possessed house. The Exorcist, the possessed child. Christine, the possessed car. And 2001, A Space Odyssey, which is conspiracy about the moon landing. Yeah, but most modern day urban legends have one thing in common. They want to invoke fear. They want you to be aware that the world out there is not a safe place. So we have a very old urban legend here in Australia, and it goes back to the very first day of colonisation of white men. And it is one of, like I said, Sydney's oldest urban legends, and certainly the most salacious. And that is all about the Chinese whispers about when all the ships came into the harbour. They took the men off first, and the men went to set up camp and to see what was around and to get everything ready and put the tents up and all that sort of stuff. Ladies stayed on board, and then about 24, 48 hours later, the ladies were rowed out into the camp.
As we should be.
And guess what happened after that?
They had to cook and clean for them.
There was nights of sex and debauchery.
Oh, no, never. Oh, Lord.
And
Candy, yes, Renata and I are paranormal investigators. I run Oz Paratech, which is Australia's largest online paranormal equipment store, and also branching out now into some esoteric sort of protection stuff as well. And Renata runs Newcastle Ghost Tours and Magical Solutions, and together we run Frightfully Good for a bit of fun. Have a laugh, bit of an education, free tarot readings on Thursday night. It's all happening. Sorry, come on,
nice
Renata.
to see you here, Candy.
Oh, we've got Jen and Jeanette on, so you can tell
Hello, Jen and Jeanette.
We've got the Fisher's Ghost story coming up, I see. So I steal her notes.
Yes. So yes, another urban legend from early settlement days of Sydney, and most probably Australia's first ghost story is Fisher's Ghost. Now, if you want a really great ghost tour to go out and see Jeanette and Jen out in Western Sydney, and they have a fabulous tour out there which includes the Fisher's Ghost site.
Maxine, the paranormal activity movies are pure Hollywood fiction.
Yeah, sorry about that. Geez, we're bursting bubbles tonight.
I know, we're having a shocker, aren't we?
They're called entertainment, right? Anything that is entertainment means it's not true.
Oh yeah, the picnic at Hanging Rock, is that the Hall's Gap?
Don't know, but apparently that's not true either.
Oh no!
Sorry. So, Ghost of Lemon Tree Passage. Who's been out there and who's taken the ride down the road, trying to see if they can bring forward the mysterious lights of the motorcycle? I think it's a motorcycle rider who tries to slow people down.
Oh, hello from Germany.
Hello, Dandy.
Welcome.
So what people have said, in the dead of night when only a few cars rumble along the long, eerie stretch of bitumen, Lemon Tree Passage Road, a mysterious light is said to follow you. Some believe the light only appears if you're a young driver who's travelling at excessive speeds. Others believe it is the ghost of a young man who died on the road in a motorcycle crash.
Hello to Sydney Investigation Ghost Tours site. Thank you for joining us. Get over there and support their page. Give them a like and a thumbs up. It's so rare we actually get paranormal investigators on here, which is awesome. So thank you.
Yes, and Jeanette and Jen hopefully will be gracing us with their presence at our online paranormal conference next month. We'll tell you about that at the end of the program. Yep. So we also have one on the Central Coast here, because we're based in Newcastle in New South Wales, and that's the ghost of Jenny Dixon. So have all of you heard about Jenny Dixon Beach and the ghost of Jenny Dixon? And while you're all on, please share us to some of your friends. We can get some more new people watching. So Jenny Dixon is one of Australia's most famous urban legends. And so apparently what happens is a woman appears, arms outstretched, beseeching the help of the observer, whoever is passing. So she's like a hitchhiker. And she waits at the side of the road, waiting to be picked up by someone. So if you're driving along Wilford Barrett Drive, heading towards Noraville, you may find her standing on the side of the road. You pull over, she gets in,
No, keep going.
She does not take the front passenger seat. She always sits in the back. The conversation always is short and a voice will trail off. Now, before long, you actually realise that she no longer is sitting there. Now, we've had some really interesting stories over the years of people who you would normally never ever expect to make things up, or they don't know the related story of this particular hitchhiking ghost, and they will say they've stopped to pick up this young girl who looks quite distressed. As she will get into the back seat, they will start a conversation, and around where the cemetery is where she disappears. Apparently the police will still often get people coming up to the police station there and going, guess what just happened? And they tell the same story all the time. Yeah. So the story about this ghost goes back to the 1970s or 1950s, depends. Yep. And a young local woman was making her way home after finishing a late shift and decided to hitch a ride along the dark and lonely stretch of road known as Wolford Barrack Drive. She was picked up by a car with 5 young men inside. She got in and the men started to behave badly towards her and took her off to a deserted part of the area and raped her, beat her and left her in the scrub where she died. The police did not find the culprits, but the woman in spirit seemingly stayed around and got her revenge. Within a few years, 5 close male friends all died from suicides, 3 car crashes, 1 hanging and 1 shotgun wound to the head. All had complained about seeing strange things before they died. Were you going to say something?
Oh, I was, because Andrew and Luca are absolutely fascinated with Ram Ranch. They seem to watch a lot of it. Good on you, boys. I'm so glad you're really open about wanting to look at these 18 naked cowboys with their hard-throbbing cocks. Go grab them. They've even put a link up for anyone who wants to go and have a look.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, no, I might have a look later when I'm in private, after I've finished drinking my urine.
Oh, haven't we attracted a crowd tonight? Yep. Isn't it joyous?
Yep, we have. We've got the quality crowd here. They saw urine, you see, and they're in.
Oh.
the big throbbing cocks. We all know what comes out of that, don't we?
Just remember we're recording this.
I'm very sorry to the people on the podcast, but we get some lovely people to join us.
Oh, okay. All right.
No worries, Andrew. That's a bit of fun. So just remember, any of those links that the lovely Andrew is putting up on there will take you to Ram Ranch, where you can look at male members.
For a moment I thought it was some ghostly paranormal
No,
thing.
that's Andrew's private collection he's got there.
I wonder if he is part of that.
Oh,
he might be doing private advertising.
Are you on there?
We're going to look for the smallest one. That will be you, I'm sure.
Oh, flesh pendulums. I like the sound of that now. I think golden showers. Yes, well, there we are. The golden showers are into the urine now. Oh,
can you wait until it's her part? Let me finish. Just let me finish.
All right, let it get through.
So another story relates to the name Jenny Dixon. In 1871, a coal schooner bearing the name Janet Dixon sank in the area, and the survivors swam to shore and assembled on the beach, which now can only be accessed by a steep staircase, and it certainly is steep. Many believe that the ghost of a lady either killed in that wreck or one of many others that occurred along the stretch of water haunts the beach and she's on the steps where she waits for her husband, don't even tell me about it, to come back for her. In another version, she searches for the child she lost at sea and will not leave her spot in grief and misery.
That's so
if
sad.
You are out there at night, you can go down to that spot where the stairs start and go about 3/4 of the way down. That is where she is said to still stand and watch.
And be aware, if you do go down to that beach, that is quite a long way on some rather steep stairs. So just be aware.
Now, another local one we have is Tomago House.
Oh.
And Tomago House is a very well-known main building of a large vineyard in Newcastle, New South Wales. It's actually out at Tomago. And yes, they did have a vineyard out there. The Construction of the site began in 1840, but its builder, barrister Richard Windeyer, passed away only 7 years later. He was survived by his wife, Maria, who was now tasked with completing the site and making it profitable. Maria excelled at this task, spending the rest of her life looking after Tomago House. So she has been seen many times. She's not the only spirit that's been seen out there. And we have, over the last few years, seen her as well as many other people who have been out there on ghost tours with us.
Well, that's a point. We've also got, Australia's Haunted History. They've done lots of books, which is our gorgeous Jen and Jeanette as well. So you can explore a lot of those urban legends in their books, Australia's Haunted History.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Sorry, are you still going there?
Maitland Jail, yes. Cell 4, C Block, Satan's Cell, has an amazing urban legend attached to that. And I don't want to tell you much because you're just going to have to come to Maitland Jail when it reopens and come and join us, because we always end up at Satan's Cell, and we usually
with a Ouija board and candles,
we always
as you do.
stick a few people in there to see if they can feel any oogie boogie things happening. And certainly over the years, lots and lots of ghost hunters, paranormal investigators have gone in to try for themselves to see whether they can connect with whoever it was that was in there.
And Andrew, as much as we'd love to share your song in the stream, we actually can't get sound. So I'm sure the lyrics are the most important part of that song. But Jodie wants to know, if we did watch it, are we able to zoom in for your little solo part? Maybe probably your audience aren't the ones who'd appreciate what we do anyway.
No.
But thank you for offering. That's very kind of you. Appreciate that.
If anybody's really hot to trot, there's Andrew's name over there. Just click on his link. He may even give you his private phone number.
I don't know. He said something about $70 there, so...
Oh, geez, that's a bit harsh. We've got to see the goods first, Andrew. What do you think this is? So, yeah, look, plenty of local urban legends, and I reckon all of you, if you did a little bit of research, could find your very own urban legends in the areas where you live, whether that be in Australia or overseas. There certainly are plenty. And the really great things about them is that it is great fodder for ghost hunters and paranormal investigators, because in many cases that's the stuff they go out to try and find where the truth stops and the bullshit starts. And sometimes, that's a grey area. So it's quite interesting to do research in that area.
But don't we also then face the possibility, if people keep retelling that story over and over and over in that location, that it actually creates a thought form and it becomes a reality? That's
it. Yeah, exactly. Tell you an interesting story, though, that was an urban legend and turned out to be false, just before I finish, because it's time for you to get on with urine. And it belongs to Minmi Cemetery, which is, again, around our area of Newcastle. And it talks about a woman by the name of Mrs. Hawkins, who tells us about her uncle Gilf. And he was walking through the cemetery one late night after having a few drinks and courting his then girlfriend, who was the Auntie Lorna, when he saw a woman in a long white gown with long blonde hair arise from the grave. Now, apparently his hair turned white overnight, and from that day on he had a stutter. But the ghost was in fact his own 14-year-old sister, who had been sleepwalking.
Ah. He went white and developed a stutter over his sister.
I know. So, look, storytelling is a really important historic tool. And sometimes it is the only way that we can actually remember stories and relate them. A good story is always one that's remembered. You all remember your history lessons. If they were boring, it was in one ear and out the other. other, but you hear a really interesting haunted or ghostly story and you'll tend to remember it. So, urban legends, there's a place for them, I think, and especially for ghost hunters and paranormal investigators.
Candy's asking if you've ever been to Sandgate Cemetery and did a video. Renata did do a video recently during the day, but got eaten alive by mosquitoes and had to stop. We can't go into Sandgate Cemetery
After hours.
After hours. It is a rule in New South Wales, and you can actually go to jail and be fined. So, spirit of Jim Beam, don't mind a bit of Jim Beam and Coke. Deer at Madawi, any Goulburn.
I like that, the Yowie Madawi. The Madawi Yowie. The Madawi Yowie. Has anybody seen that? But we're going to finish off with the Yowie stories now and the urban legends. So I'm just going to press the golden button here on our recording and finish off. We hope you've enjoyed that segment on urban legends, and it might lead you to go off and study your own area.
Now,
okay. Would you like to tell everyone about the online paranormal conference that we are having?
Oh, we are organising an online paranormal conference that is in July, the 11th and 12th, I think it is in July,
yes.
Which is a Saturday and Sunday, and we have guest speakers from all around Australia, paranormal investigators. We are going with our own talent that we have right here. You can buy a ticket via Eventbrite. Just look at our events on our pages. And the way we've structured the ticketing is that it is by donation. So if you can only afford $10, that's the minimum donation. You get both days for $10. If you can only afford $20, or if you want to donate $50. So we have $10, $20, $30, $40 and $50 depending on what you are able to pay.
You'll still get the 2 days.
You still get the 2 days. Everybody is equal. We've just tried to make it so that as many people can attend as possible. It is going to be recorded onto a private Facebook group. We will do it via this medium that we're using now, and you will be able to watch it at any time for a full year. Jump in there and catch those talks. We have... we announced the...
Not yet.
Okay.
We don't have we can't announce our special guest yet. I'm still waiting for an email just to verify, but we've got lots of people coming from all states of New South Wales, or not coming, but actually coming online to talk about their sites, and New Zealand, hopefully, as well.
And half of the money is going to 2 local charities, Where Pigs Fly, Farm Animal Sanctuary, and
Cedar Creek Wombat Hospital.
Because we do love our animals. So, and not just on a fork.
No! And hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to head out to both of those areas and do a live so that you actually are seeing where the money's going. Cedar Creek Wombat Hospital really, really, really needs funds. They are absolutely devastated at the moment. So, yeah, any money that we raise and we can give to them will certainly be helpful. Absolutely. So we invite you.
And St. Bartholomew's at Prospect. Yes, it's got the legend of the priest that walks around there.
Also, just before we start with our urine, we know you're really wanting to hear all about urine. Don't forget, tomorrow night we start our 2 weeks of protection class or workshop. So we have 2 consecutive Tuesday nights, about an hour and a bit each night, only $20, and we're giving you some information about cleansing, clearing, protection. Tomorrow night it's all going to be about personal protection, and the week after it's all about house and space clearing, and if you're a ghost hunter, what you should be doing when you're going out as well and doing that sort of stuff. So that is also available. We still have spaces left for that, and that's online too.
And Sean, I think that's how you pronounce it, Sean. We have somebody talking about the CE5 protocol on EVPs, and we've got paranormal investigators talking about various topics within the paranormal field. Roman, I think, is talking on something on string theory and quantum mechanics and things.
We'll make sure that's early in the morning.
So there's going to be a whole variety of Wee TV. Okay, so what time was it tomorrow? The workshop for protection is 7:30 to 8:30. I'll watch Ram Ranch later.
Hold on. Are we ready to go? Are we ready for this segment,
press
people?
your yellow button, Renata.
If we're ready, give us some hearts or something. I don't know. I might have to go
Cheers.
and get. Just. Is it still warm? That's a lot. Have you collected that for the whole day? Or what? God. All right. So for anybody who is joining us on the podcast for this segment, it is the letter U that we are exploring in the ABC of Paranormal Strangeness.
Yeah, we could have done UFOs or Uri Geller or
We
anything,
could have, but we
no.
decided not to. We
looked-
went with urine.
We've been donated these fantastic paranormal what are they, encyclopedias, and we thought, oh, we'll look up you and see what's there, and lo and behold, there was urine.
Hang on to your hats, guys.
Urine or urine?
This could be really bad.
It could be.
It could be.
So did you know that urine has magical and medicinal properties?
I hear
you know
that people drink their own.
So we'll go through some of the magical properties. First off, it is used in witchcraft and black magic rituals.
I'm sure they piss in the bottle when they do the witches' bottles.
Yeah, it smells like that, doesn't it? You can mix it with wine and herbs and oils.
Why would you? Why would you
Just pour
destroy good wine?
Little bit in your cauldron. Just a little bit in you go, and then you can mix it around, and good heavens. And you can use it as an ointment. Rub a little bit of that on your wound and see how it goes. Actually, I do know
It depends on what you were eating. I mean, is asparagus something that's required for?
I do remember a guy that used to hang out with us in the paranormal team saying that his son came up in this rash all over his back, so he took him into the shower and pissed on his back.
Apparently, you're supposed to do that as well when you get stung by blue bottles.
Yeah. Apparently it does the job, and apparently it worked for this little boy, but I would not suggest that you do it.
Oh, we're losing people, Anne.
I'm
Keep
funny
going.
about that. The numbers are dropping. So it can be used in pills, amulets, talismans, and charms.
Oh, did you say ambulance or ambulance?
Amulets.
Right.
But this is the best bit. Urine can be used as an aphrodisiac. Nothing like a bit of pee to get you horny.
Shades of the story of Trump in Russia. That's all I can say.
Have we heard of golden showers?
The PP tape. It's all coming out now.
So it can be used as an aphrodisiac, but also for fertility.
Oh, apparently it gets rid of freckles, Jeanette says.
Oh, fantastic. Hi girls, how is it going? Joe is the piss. Right, okay. Not quite sure what that is, but thanks, William. Yes, age spots. Yes, and that is true. Is that Lorraine said it is sterile. When it comes out, it is quite sterile. It does contain ammonia, which can neutralize acid. So that's where it comes into the stings, that you can pee on someone if they've got that happening and get rid of the sting. Usually free from bacteria and therefore has disinfectant properties. Put it in your bucket and mop the floor. I've got all these helpful hints today.
We learned all about piss when we went to Shakespeare's house in England.
What did you?
Yes, because in his house in England, his parents actually cured leather, and that whole thing about being piss poor, That's when all the really poor families would collect their wee, because the leather would be placed in the wee to cure before they did anything else with it.
There you are.
Break down all the skinny skin bits and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
So Valerie got told that if you soak your chilblains on your feet in urine, apparently it's good for that. I used to get chilblains on the back of my ears. It's really weird. All right, so now this is a good tip for anyone that might be pregnant.
Right.
When it's time to have the baby, have a cup of your male part's urine. Have a drink of that. Apparently it helps the baby come out quicker. We're not going to get through this.
Right. Okay. Keep going.
All right.
Keep going. Oh, my head
Basically,
hurts.
I think I would punch him if he gave me that. All right. So, and also, women have been given their own urine in the past to relieve you from hysteria.
Of course, because that's what we need. We need to drink our own urine.
Right.
$100, please, whoever said. Okay.
Male urine contains androsterone and androsterone. It's like testosterone, but androsterone, which improves health and virility. Now, I have seen TV shows where people do.
Can you face the other way? You've got urine breath.
All right.
Yeah.
Right. So I have seen TV shows where people have. They do regularly drink their own urine, and I saw a dirty clip on YouTube of some person at a festival that they have these little stations for men that they can just sort of walk up and flip the fella out and have a bit of, ram ranch into the thing. And this fella's walking around with a cup, and he just slides it in while the fella's having a bit of a wee and pulls it out and has a drink. So, oh dear.
What shows do you watch?
SBS.
The numbers are dropping, Ed.
Mick seems to think that I'm getting pissed. You taking the piss out of me? All right. So yeah, well that's a good point. I wonder what does piss taste like after you've drunk piss? Anyway, do you know that there are some ghost stories related to ghosts to urine?
Right. Okay.
I've got a very reliable source, which is Mum's Net, and it's a woman who the heading is urine trouble. Mum fears a ghost keeps peeing in her toilet while she's at work, and people think it's hilarious. The poor woman is traumatised.
Is she?
By a ghost that is peeing. I've got a bit of indigestion. And people are laughing at her. So a woman keeps coming home from work to find pee in her toilet, and she thinks it could be a haunted by a ghost that's incapable of flushing.
She's got the hiccups now.
Talking to Mumsnet user, I can't find a good name. Started a thread called Phantom Piss Taker. Dear husband leaves for work at 7:30. I leave for school run at 8:30. I was the last one in the bathroom for the last 3 mornings. Just got home from work, and for the 3rd day in a row, there is wee in my toilet. Of course it's paranormal. It couldn't be anything else, Renata.
It couldn't be anything else. Nothing.
She added, it definitely wasn't there when I left. DH, dear husband, works miles away, so it wasn't him, but someone or something has been weeing in my toilet. It seems to have affected my throat. So, what is it? A ghost incapable of flushing? The cat has somehow come way beyond her litter training? I mean, what the hell is happening? So, the users on Mum's Net got on there and maybe gave us some good advice. Sorry to be boring. It's probably a ghost of someone who used to love peeing in your house. While Mrs. Wanna Banana added, dying to know who it is, secretly hoping it's really a ghost. Palom, one of my cats uses the toilet. It's unheard of. While Steph 13 commented, we had a cat growing up who used the toilet. We were very surprised the first time we caught her at it.
Right.
Does
Does this woman have a cat?
No, she doesn't. Are you sure it's a we? Could it be water in your toilet is being discoloured by something stuck in your tank? Or the U-bend? Now that sounds like a good thing. But anyway, she decided to put a bit of talcum powder around to see if she could work out what was causing it.
Right, yep. Now, that's an old trick, ladies and gentlemen,
Yep.
that the old talcum powder sprayed on the floor to see whether any footsteps
I said
or anything
she was
appeared.
going to leave some talc prints until tomorrow when her brother brings some of his Bond-style gadgets to catch the phantom piss person.
Have another drink. Go on, have another drink.
I feel like I'm part of the Scooby-Doo mystery. So there we go. There's one example of a ghost story related to urine.
Oh, we've got an angry face. Someone's angry.
Oh, no.
Someone's pissed off.
Oh, dear. All right. I've got another ghost story. I don't think I'm going to go for half an hour on this, Renata. I'm sorry, but I'll do my best.
Okay, that's all right. Keep going.
Another ghost story, which is by a Frederica Laughton.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to find out if ghosts pee. I have quite a lot of fluid dripping from my TV set.
Oh.
Ghosts apparently pee in TV sets. And a large amount of fluid on and around the 4 hot plates, all on the first day.
On the first day of what?
I don't know. It's just her first day. I cleaned it up and wondered, I'm glad she cleaned it up, and wondered about how it got there. 2 days later, I walk past the TV and I hear water running. The TV is not on or plugged in. I guess the ghosts are messing with me. Then it happened again, only the TV this time. I thought maybe the cats, but there is no smell. If it was cats, there'd be a smell. But a little yellow colour, probably dust collected as it ran down the TV.
Oh.
Then the kettle got attracted. Apparently, the kettle got attracted. I had to wash it down and clean the inside as well, as I wasn't sure if anything had gone in there.
Oh.
The next time the bench top had a big puddle on it. No smell, just a slight colour as before. This time I took a photo of it and wiped it down with paper towel, which I put in my fridge inside a plastic bag. Bless her. Then again the TV, I took photos as before and repeated the same process. I now have 2 bags of pea-stained rags in the fridge. Ghost pee. This morning I woke up to a big mess next to my breadboard. When I lifted the board, there was a heap under it. I took photos again and cleaned it up like before and put another bag in the fridge. So, do ghosts pee? If I could include photos, I would, but there's no option to do so here.
So, guys, what do you think? I mean, is it possible that ghosts could leave some urine? Is it possible? Have you heard any stories that might be able to say the same thing, that urine or some sort of water or liquid has been left after what could be a ghostly phenomenon? Certainly people are writing in all of this stuff. Now, do we believe them or don't we believe them?
So Kylie said it's not urine related, but our old house in Mayfield, at the same time, every night the toilet lid, whether it was up or down, would always sound like it was being closed every night. Oh, that sounds like... yeah.
Residual haunting there. Yeah.
So I'm having my aphrodisiac. Roman's going to have a good night. So, now, a little bit of black magic.
Okay. Let's go for
Renata,
it.
what's black magic?
Black magic is not white magic.
What about pink magic?
So black magic is supposed to be magic that is an attack or a curse or a hex on someone. So it is about taking over their free will and making them do something they don't want to.
Very good answer, Renata, because what I've got here is a spell that uses urine.
Oh. Kiddies, do not try this at home.
I'm not giving the full spell because I
Okay.
don't want to upset people. Lord knows I'll probably rush out and do this. So for centuries, urine has
We've got a
been...
few on our list at the moment.
Oh, look, we've gone back up to 70. They must have gone and got some people.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. I just need to quickly check. Sorry to the... Oh, Valerie, you've hit the angry face again, my love. You did that last time. We know you don't mean it. So for centuries, urine has been used for spells for white, red, or black magic.
Oh, okay.
You love that, don't you?
Mm.
Therefore, it is used as one of the necessary instruments for any spell or love moorings. Therefore, we're going to talk about a love spell today.
Oh, this is going to be interesting.
How to make someone fall in love with you. And that's the reason why this is black magic. Because that is doing something against someone's free will.
Bianca, are you listening to this? This is what you want to know. Tell me.
Do you want to fall in love with a person? And do you want to know how? Generally, the woman's urine is one of the main tools. In addition to this natural liquid, you can also mix in various essences, such as coffee.
It's a good waste
tea.
of coffee.
Are you ready for the next one?
Oh,
Even a bit of menstrual blood.
oh please.
I'll drink to that. I'm gonna lose my shit. Okay.
Right.
Keep it together. I can get through this. Oh, for that reason, if you want to, if what you want is to catch the heart of your beloved, then you need to do this spell. It's fast and easy if you've saved up your urine ready to go. But you've got to be aware that there is danger in some of these magic acts, especially if you're doing things against people's will, because it comes back at you.
Yes.
Every time,
Yes.
without fail.
We must not.
However, if you're madly in love, you can give it a crack. So I just wanted to give you some of the things that you need for this spell without going into details of what the
Pen
spell
and paper, people. Pen and paper.
You need, on the first day, a full bottle of urine.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, is that a 1 litre bottle?
Get
or
out there and start collecting. let's go with the 1
I
litre.
suggest using a funnel.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
9 rusted nails.
Yep.
Human hair.
Yep. Yep.
And some rusty needles.
Oh, yep. Yep.
So we've got a lot of piss and a lot of rust.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Yep. So I won't go into it any further than that, but they do advise caution before starting the performing of that spell, probably because of the rust and the needles, and you don't want to end up with, was it lockjaw?
Yeah. Yeah.
Lockjaw. So there you go. There is some ghost stories on urine, and there is a little bit of a spell there, and also some of the magical properties. And for all you ladies who might be having children soon, just remember, a cup of your man's pee while you're in labour, and hope that child shoot out. Merry Christmas. Refreshing. Keto.
Please don't ask any questions. No, we're not accepting any questions at the moment. No, none whatsoever. So,
Can I get my 10 cents back after I'm done with the bottle on day one?
I'm sure you can. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad we're leaving the letter U behind. And that means we're up to V next week.
Oh, V!
The V!
I know what I'm going to talk about!
No!
Oh, no.
No. So
I'm-
if you can give us any tips on what we could talk about for the letter V, please put it down in the comments.
Jen, I can't drink that wine or apple juice because that's not keto, and I'm doing keto.
Smell it. This is going this is going above and beyond the call of what we do here at Frightfully Good. This is
Frightfully bad tonight on my
this is
behalf.
total experimentation.
You've missed C, Andrew. You'll have to go back and find that one and see what we talked about.
Now, guys, also this weekend we are travelling all the way down to Junee
Yes, I got
to
something.
Monte Cristo, and we are going to be doing a investigation down there with the beautiful Lawrence and the family, who will be taking us through the most haunted homestead in Australia, Monte Cristo Homestead, and hopefully we will be able to do some live feeds before and after. I don't think we can do it during the...
We have to get permission if we're not sure what we're allowed to film within the house, so we will always make sure that we follow the rules of the location.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there'll be shenanigans outside anyway.
So there are a lot of areas outside that you can explore afterwards. So I'm sure that these guys, I'll be going to bed, these guys here will be out there doing investigations. It will be freezing cold in Junee. You won't even recognise us because we'll have so many clothes on.
The boys at Ram Ranch would really suffer.
This has been absolute chaos tonight.
Just the way I like it.
We want to thank everyone for being here, I think, this evening.
That's
and
a good one, Vagina Devil Magic.
Oh, Jesus.
No, we better not do
Mel,
Jesus.
don't encourage her, please.
Oh, excellent. He's going to come back for another stream.
Oh, dear. Thank you so much, Andrew. It's been a
laugh.
a delight. Absolute delight. It's been wonderful to have you. Many blessings, my dear. And, I hope you come of age soon. In the meantime, join us tomorrow for the protection workshop. You can jump on at, what are we doing that through? Frightfully Good? Oh, no, Australian School of Ghost Hunting.
School of Ghost Hunting.
So if you go onto the Australian...
apparently Rick Astley sang Ram Ranch.
Okay, the Australian School of Ghost Hunting Facebook page, you'll see a link, $20, and that's 2 consecutive Tuesdays. It will be recorded, so if you miss out on the live, you can actually jump on later and have a little look.
Twister __.
Sorry.
And so we've still got plenty of spaces left because that is online and we can have as many people as we want. Other than that, come and join us Thursday evening, same time, same place, for our free Tarot Thursdays, where if you are lucky enough to be chosen, if Spirit chooses you, you will get a free reading.
There you go, Andrew. That's funny. I will listen to that later.
Rick Astley would die if he only knew that you changed his song to Ram Ranch.
Oh dear.
I think I will put that somewhere. I'm going to try and wipe it out of my brain first
Just
of
have
all.
a drink.
No, just go away with that thing, will you? Anyway, we love you all. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us and putting up with our nonsense.
We hope we've
Educated you.
at least made your evening
I'd stop
bearable.
that thing if I were you. Bearable or terrible.
Yeah.
Good night, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.